Hey, Ronnie Dale for Wheeling Australia. Welcome to Talkin' 4x4, episode 3. And we have some cool topics on this time, some topics that have been requested. But before we get going, let's invite our guest in, and he's coming back again. Torben.
How you going, Ronnie?
Good, mate.
Thanks for having me back.
No worries. Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
back. You got requested back.
Yeah, I saw there was 1 or 2 requests, so...
We should probably look into that one. That's the main one. I keep
That's
getting
fine.
confused. There's 2 cameras here. Hello. Today's topics.
The
first one?
Bad mods.
Bad mods as in how to avoid bad installers, how to avoid putting bad mods on for a start, and just general bad mods, like how people make mistakes. We've made mistakes. We'll share those stories with you as well.
Yep, we've made a few.
Yeah, we have made a few. We've made many. But we'll share some main ones.
And we've got a second topic.
Yes, the second topic is mainly recovery gear. We're going to discuss winches,
Yep.
the ins and outs, snatch straps, and recovery boards. We're mainly going to cover those 3. What's good, what's bad, cheap versus expensive in this category, and are there some things that are just way better than everything else? So that will be the last segment of this show.
Yep.
But I've added something that's semi-permanent. It may become permanent.
I think it will be.
Do you really need that? Yeah. Yes, we do. Cheers.
Cheers.
We picked some items we're going to throw at each other, and do you really need that? And you guys can add to that for the next time.
Yeah.
The do you really need that items? I think we should start with that. Let's just start with that.
Yeah, let's start
Do
with
you
that.
really need that? Do we need to do it now?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's play a game. Do you really need that? You can take the odd numbers, I'll take the even numbers.
Okay.
What's the first one?
Wet wipes.
Wet wipes.
Wet wipes.
Do you really need that?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
Yeah.
I need that stuff too.
And it's got more than one use.
Yeah, or more, yeah.
Yeah.
Clean our bench tops.
Yep.
Clean, like if you don't want to waste water and wash your dishes and you're single serving person, wipe out your
Yep.
cup, wipe your utensils,
Yep.
wipe your ass,
Yeah, exactly.
your armpits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can do a full body wash with the wet wipes.
Concluded, you need them.
Yeah, 100%.
Bush knife.
Bush knife.
Bush knife.
Yeah, you need a
Yeah,
bush,
bush
knife.
knife.
There we go. Oh, we can't even do the, do you call that a knife? They're about the same size. Yeah, I use this for everything. I even use this in the office. I just went and got this from the office.
Huh. I use this one for when we're cooking.
Yeah,
And
same.
I use it for cleaning my nails too.
Yeah.
Sorry, crew.
Bush knife? Yes, you need a bush knife.
Yeah, you do.
Lift kit.
Lift kit.
Nah.
Depending on what you do. Do you need a lift kit? You don't really need a lift
Don't
kit.
really, no. I reckon you can get away with not having a lift kit 90% of the time on the beach.
Yeah, but you will get bogged easier. And when you're bogged, you got to dig a lot deeper.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's
it's-
one of the places I think you can probably
Yeah.
get away with it more.
Lift kit, you don't really need that.
No.
Nah. Depending on where you go. Depending on what you want to do.
But do we want it?
Yes. But we don't need it. But we want
No.
it. So that's a want.
Awning.
Awning. I've gone 2 years without an awning. Now I have 2 awnings. And I can't be bothered pulling them out. So
true.
for me, I don't need an awning.
No.
Do you need an awning?
No.
They're handy when it's bloody stinking hot though.
Well, admittedly, I do use the awnings on dewy nights and if it's raining.
Yeah, true.
So I can
Oh, when
stick
it
the
when it
swag under
rains,
it.
yeah.
But when I had the
Yeah.
swag underneath, so
Okay, well I'm
gives you
gonna
that barrier of warmth.
say if you travel in convoy, you don't need an awning because you can use someone else's. You can throw a tarp over your swag.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have a miserable evening if it's raining. You're gonna be in your tent pretty early, but you don't need one.
Yeah. You can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another want.
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw.
Do you need a chainsaw? You do need a chainsaw unless you got someone like Ronnie who has 1 or 10 axes.
Usually 3 axes with me.
Because that way you can do the work.
Yeah, you can.
Because I'm not allowed to use an axe.
Well, there you go. Keep fit in the bush. Yeah. You don't need a chainsaw. You don't really need a chainsaw.
Nah.
We've gone away without having a chainsaw.
Yeah, we stopped carrying it.
It's convenient.
Oh, it's very convenient.
Another want.
Yeah, definitely a want.
Inverter.
Inverter. Inverter. Okay, I'm going to say that I need an inverter to charge camera gear.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't charging camera gear, I don't need an inverter. Do you need one?
For work, yeah, 100%. I use it every day at work.
Okay, what do you use it?
Charging for battery drills, using angle grinders,
Fair enough.
all the bits and pieces.
Camping though?
Camping runs the coffee machine.
Runs the coffee machine.
Yeah.
Another thing you don't need.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of camera crew that will disagree with you.
Hey, I can go with cold brew. I can go with a stove with a fire. You don't need an inverter. Come on.
No.
You don't need an inverter.
It's a want.
It's a want for sure.
It's a luxury.
Yeah, and if you really want an inverter, you don't need to get a 2000 watt inverter. Unless you want to run coffee machines, you could just go to 350 watt. That charges your phones, your camera gears, charges everything.
Yeah.
I got a 750. I don't need it. I need a 350. That is what I need for the camera gear, but
Yeah.
So it's a want for most people.
Yeah.
What's the last one? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's 6.
All right.
Just like that.
Do we need more? We do need more. Next time. Comment down below. We'll pick 6 random things that you guys want to know if you need or if it's a want.
And it can be some out of the ordinary things too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for gold.
Make us
There's
laugh.
going to be some weird stuff there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the show. The first 2 YouTube questions of the show before we get to our main topic, which was the bad mods. But let's go to the questions first.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with a simple one here from Rod Joma. Plastic or steel jerry cans to carry extra fuel when outback touring?
I prefer the steel. Bit more robust.
It will be more robust.
I find they pour better as well.
Yeah, that depends.
I mean, when you're talking the
The spout has
your
a
green,
proper...
and you pull back the lever, it's got
Yeah.
a nice seal, it pours nicely.
Yeah, if you get the good ones.
Yeah.
Because there are some knockoff ones and they're an absolute pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I would honestly say plastic, just because I use the plastic ones.
Yep.
They're cheaper. There's plastic ones all behind us. There's plastic ones just out there, full of petrol as well. Those plastic ones, they are probably more risk of wearing. So say if you've got a bad jerry can holder and they're loose and you're driving down a corrugated road for hundreds and hundreds of k's, it could rub a hole in it. So a steel one could happen too, but it's going to take you maybe 10,000 k's
Yeah, take a while.
as opposed to 500 k's.
Yeah.
But I've never had a problem with my plastic jerrys.
So that's a 50-50, that one.
Yeah, except for the water one. I put too close to the fire. Okay. I'll go steel too because I like to heat my water up. Right? If I'm going to have a shower,
Yep.
I'll heat the water up near the fire. And I tried that in a plastic jerry can.
Failed miserably.
Well, going by the theory of you can boil water in a plastic bottle, which is all good and well, but if the top part doesn't have water and the heat's at the top, it's going to melt the top.
Yep.
So, yeah, steel. I'll go steel
Steel it is.
for heating water. Next one, up, down, under. Why do you see $80 awnings on $120,000 vehicles or trucks, he says. That's the question all my mates want answering. So, picture yourself, you're at up, down, under's house. You're sitting around with all these mates having a beer and you're all going, why are there $80 awnings on these $120,000 trucks? Why?
Why?
Give them answers.
Well, first I would start by explaining the world is round, not flat. So they're on the same wavelength.
Oh, geez. I think you just offended some few people there. The flat earthers.
Just kidding. It's because they've spent so much money on their car they can't afford any more than an $80 awning.
Yeah, well, that's a fair statement,
Yeah.
I've got to say. on a more serious note, well, that's actually pretty serious too. An $80 awning. Okay, mine are $115 awnings, and they're the XTM. They're the cheapest ones you can probably get.
Oh, my old awning I had,
Or the $80 awning.
it was actually a $70 awning.
Oh, there you go. Cheaper than 80. They do the same job as a $600 awning.
They do.
They give you shade. They protect you from rain. Torrential downpour. Yeah, it might drip through somewhere. But seriously, I'm not relying on it to get me home. It's just there to keep me dry. That's why you will see $80 awnings on a $120,000 truck. And I wish there's only $120,000 poured into that truck.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah, let's cut that
Our
off.
wives are watching this.
Ooh, things are getting bad. Bad mods.
Bad mods.
Bad mods.
I think we've both got a couple, haven't we?
Yeah. So before we get into our stories, which we'll keep them very short,
Yep.
so they can get more out of the tips and stuff we're going to give them. This is all about advice to prevent yourself from going to dodgy installers. Ask for the correct, say, wire size. I believe you brought some wire with you.
Yeah, I did.
And just avoid getting a bad product, really, or getting something that's not going to suit your needs, and doing mods in the incorrect order, because there is a certain order you got to do things.
Yeah, I think we've both made the mistake of
Right.
starting at number 10 before.
Yeah, because we just want to get it done.
Yeah.
So, stay tuned for that. Your story first?
So my first one, probably the worst one actually, would be let's call it a lightning BCDC.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
So it's blue.
Yeah. It was a new product on the market at the time, and it wasn't the cheapest rubbish on the market. It was like a mid-range price, so I thought this should be okay. Well, as we found out in the Kimberley, when it started to smoke up a bit and get a bit hot, it wasn't actually the best product, and it nearly burnt my car to the ground, so we changed that one pretty quick.
So what would you put that down to? How would you prevent people from doing that?
I think that was partly my fault because I did no research on that product, and I don't think there was any.
Were you demanding a lot out of it?
No, I wasn't actually.
Okay.
I was only charging 2 batteries, 200 amp hours, so not much.
So really, you could put that down to bad luck, really.
Bad luck.
It could be just one of those 1 in 50 are dodgy.
Yep.
So you just don't know. But you find that the better quality or more reputable quality control brand will have maybe 1 in 500 that'll fail.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes in.
Or even less.
Or even less. Well, my one's a bit different. My one is, it's similar in some cases. I didn't research this particular brand or installer, and I'll have to change the name up as well. So we're going to call it Range Sports X4X. That's what we're going to call it.
Oh, yeah.
They deal with more the lower end of the market stuff.
Okay.
And I went to get an alloy bull bar. Mistake number 1, alloy bull bar. This is for my Hilux. I smashed the other alloy bull bar I had beforehand, so I got another alloy bull bar. Yeah, well, that's
makes
really going to
sense.
work, isn't it?
That makes sense.
So I got an alloy bull bar, and the installer called me and said, "Oh, I'm running behind because I'm waiting for an electrician." He was blaming it on the electrician, and I was like, "Well, okay, he's got an electrician working on a car. That's promising." Turns out, 3-4 months later, I did a water crossing. I've done all kinds of stuff in this car. Been all around WA. I went to check out why my lights weren't working. So I went to grab the wire and just sort of, pull it so I could get a closer look, and it just pulled apart.
Oof.
He didn't get an electrician because they were twitched together with electrical tape. I was so freaking pissed off. It was all corroded. All the wiring was stuffed. I had to redo all that, throw those fog lights out, everything, and just get new stuff, start over again. But 3-4 months later, what do?
Well, there's not much you can do.
No, there's not much you can do. The mistake I went with an alloy bull bar, we can dive well deeper into this, is it did take an impact from a Kangaroo, but it did shift the bull bar at 70 k's per hour. But then later, I compressed that far that the tyres just nicked the bull bar and it actually tore the whole alloy bull bar down, the wings down. And 3 of us, 6 hands, were able to bend the wings up again. So go for steel bull bars, people.
Yeah.
Lesson learnt twice. let's look at reasons and situations that can lead to bad mods. And I'll start by saying doing a mod before you should have done other mods. And how do you know that? Well, if you put suspension on your vehicle as the first mod out of the whole lot of mods you're going to do, think about it. You're going to put bull bars, maybe canopy, maybe a big steel or alloy canopy, roof rack, side steps, fridge, drawer system, all that stuff in your vehicle. If you're going to do all that, do your suspension as late as possible. And the reason for that is if you get your suspension straight away and then you put all this other gear on, the guy who installed the suspension may have done a really good job at setting it up to what it is now.
And that's all they can do at the time.
And that's all they can do. Even if you tell them I'm going to put all this stuff on, they're not going to be able to work out exactly what to put on it. And I've made this mistake.
I've made it.
You've made it as well. So if you are going to modify a vehicle, suspension is one of the last things you should do. Just put all the heavy stuff on first, because then the guy who's doing the suspension can get his job right.
Yeah, that's right. He knows what he's working against. Cutting a company down in price to save you a couple of dollars.
Okay. So how much are we cutting down, and how is this going to lead?
Well, cutting down someone in price can lead to less quality work.
Oh, so you're saying that they want to get the job done quicker?
Yeah, because
you've taken their profits.
Yeah, their profits. I mean, it might sound like a lot of money to you, but that's what it actually costs.
Yeah.
So the less you cut him down, the faster he's going to try and get the job done to get another job to cover his wages.
Yeah, fair enough. And then there's less care as well, I guess?
Yeah, less care, quality just goes down.
Put yourself in the installer shoes as well. Like this guy comes in and he's constantly trying to get a cheaper price out of you. You're a tradie. I used to be a tradie, and I've dealt with people like that, and they frustrate you.
Oh, they do.
You know, it's, this is what it costs, and then they try and keep nagging you down.
Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying now. So how to prevent that? I guess, well, do your research, shop around, get prices, and then sort of compare them. Then you can work out if you're getting ripped off or not. I guess that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's right.
And
It's the old 3-quote rule. You get your 3 quotes, you get a high one, a middle one, and a low one. And you normally always go for the middle one because you know that's where the price should be.
Yeah, especially if the low one's really low. That can ring alarm bells.
Yeah.
It means that it's a guy just trying to get into the industry. He may not have as much experience, or they're just knock the jobs out. They're doing them too fast.
Yeah.
You need, because, that's why I take my car to PDP, because I know if he does something, he's going to take the time.
Yeah.
And I may get my car a day and a half, 2 days late, But,
sounds like my mechanic.
Yeah, but that's what happens. If you get a quality mechanic or an electrician, that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
You normally, if you get your car back late, that's good news. Generally, especially if they're working on it.
Yes, that's right.
But then the labour goes up a bit.
It does.
You pay for what you get.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Next thing that can lead to bad mods is just bolting on things without thinking. And there's a number of ways this can be done. You saved your money up, you finally got your car, you just want everything modded for a big trip coming up, and you're just bolting stuff on left, right and centre, and there's no thought in it. That's another way to lead to bad mods, because things might not fit.
Yep.
You put heaps of stuff on that's unnecessary, or you have to redo some things because you didn't think them through, and then all of a sudden it's costing you 50 grand instead of 40 grand.
Yeah.
I know we're talking big numbers here, but even like in a $5,000 scale,
Yep.
money's money.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It
Every cent
could be
counts.
spent somewhere else. Could be spent on fuel for your trip.
Yeah, that's right.
Bad mods are hard to spot when it's electrical and when it's mechanical, because let's face it, only a small percentage of the world knows mechanics down to the nitty-gritty, and the electrics as well.
Yep.
So with electrics, the way it can lead to a bad mod is you go and ask for a dual battery system.
Yep.
And you ask them to put a wire to the back. Or even worse, you don't ask them to chase a wire down the back, and then you get your dual battery system, which is simply just 2 batteries with an isolator. That's not a dual battery system.
No.
You may need a charging component like a BCDC to charge it. You're going to need a cable go to the back so you can use the second battery to power your fridge in the back and whatnot. And then even when they do put a cable to the back, it's never enough. It's enough for a fridge and a couple of sockets.
Yeah.
So if you want to put more in there,
You have to run a whole new line.
yep. And then you might get some of the shops, they'll suggest, well, so you got your compressor in the back, well, let's run that off your auxiliary battery. You don't want to be running your compressor,
Off an auxiliary battery.
but you should run it off a cranking battery.
Yeah,
So you're,
because they're high current.
and your alternator's taking over the job,
Yeah,
not the battery. So there's a few things there you got to be careful with.
definitely.
I think you should jump in with those wires.
I think so. Biggest mistake we always see is cable size and style of cable.
Yeah, styler cable.
I have seen so many people use 240 volt household wiring in their cars. Well, I hate to break it to you, they're designed completely differently, and they're not designed to handle 12 volts and the high currents at 12 volt draws. But that's the other thing I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, it's 12 volts, so it must draw less power.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually completely the other way around.
I'll let you continue, but I think the thing with 12 volt is people see 12 volt as I can't die from 12 volt.
Yep,
240 volt scares the hell out of people, so no one wants to touch it.
yep.
But 12 volt, there's a lot of people that just
Yeah, we'll just twitch this, twitch that, she'll be right, it's 12 volts.
fat cable to thin cable to fat cable,
Yep.
no fuses.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, the one thing I tell everybody is 240 volts will kill you, 12 volts will burn your car to the ground.
That's actually a good one. I like that.
So, yeah, because 240 volts usually trips a breaker and off you go. 12 volts, 9 out of 10 times, they don't even put a fuse on.
Yeah.
So it just keeps burning and burning and burning.
Or they put a fuse that's too big,
Yep,
and then the wire ends up being the fuse.
that's right.
It ends up melting, causing a fire.
Yep. And even a cable like, let's say this one here, what's this, 6 mil cable. That's probably, if you class it as a fuse rating, that'd probably be 500 amps. That's a lot of power before this lets go.
Yeah. That's why we have fuses.
Yep.
So
And
they
we've-
pop before the wire melts, starts a fire. But I think you should bring up the big boy, because this is where people mainly fail.
Yes, this is the big fail for people.
Now that's some thick ass cable.
That's a 3 gauge cable.
And I was suggesting the Torbs before this to cut some offcuts. I don't want these big rolls on the table, but then,
Yeah, not going to happen.
it's expensive.
This is why people don't use automotive cables, because they are expensive. But a cable that size, which is probably as thick as my little finger, that's what you use from your crank battery to your compressor in the rear, or from your your crank battery to a BCDC in your canopy. You need at least this size cable.
Yeah, and not for longer than 5-6 meters?
Generally 5 meters.
5 meters?
Once you go over that, you need to step it up again.
Yeah. It's also important your BCDC or your battery charger, whatever it is, to be within 1 meter at least to your battery.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
closer the better.
Yep.
And then you're not paying through the nose for a metre of wire, you're only paying for a little bit of wire.
That's right. And another
yeah.
tip that I don't hear many, or even Autosparky suggest, is fuse your cable and your appliance.
I usually put a fuse at either end,
Yeah.
even though I know in some cases it doesn't matter, but I still do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely worth it, because say a cable this size you're running to your BCDC, say it draws 80 amps.
Mm-hmm.
You put an 80 amp fuse or even a 100 amp fuse you can for the cable at the beginning. When you get to the other end, put a fuse that's designed for the equipment. So step it down.
Okay.
That way you're protecting both pieces of equipment.
Write it down, people. Let's talk about the termination of the cables. See,
Yes.
these ones most people can do, but you need the tools. You need crimpers,
Yep.
solder, crimp, heat shrink.
Yep.
Solder, crimp, heat shrink, and glued heat shrink. And that'll keep it all nice and tight, and it'll be isolated.
Keeps it clean.
But this stuff here, I know that you have the tools to do it, but for someone like me or anyone else to get the tools to do this properly with the clamps, the crimping, the solder and the heat shrink, it's going to
Yeah.
cost you a bit to get set up, and not
Oh, that's right.
you don't want to do that just because it's going to cost more than just the wire you're using.
Yeah.
So I would suggest finding someone who knows how to do it, or you suggested Battery World,
Yeah, battery rod. You can go down and you'd let
like a
them know
battery shop.
exactly how long. They'll cut it, crimp both ends, heat shrink the whole lot, ready for you to go.
And then you've got places like JCar or electrical shops that have 12 volt stuff. They usually have lengths that are pre-done.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you get 100 or 200 mil more than what you actually need, you can just shape it to it.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's done right at both ends, and that's what you want.
And it's when you buy those pre-made ones, they're not actually that expensive.
No, not really, considering all the work
Yeah.
that you would have had to do,
Yep.
and you know it's right.
Yeah.
Because I've tried it before, and I just sometimes you may have got it, you're just not sure. And it's like, nah, stuff this. I'll take it down to, I usually take my stuff down to PDP, and
Yep.
I'll say, look, I need these lengths here just done properly. Insurance, if you do your own wiring and your car burns down to the ground and they find out you did your own wiring,
There ain't no insurance.
they ain't no insurance, especially if they can point it towards the wiring.
Yep.
So one of my final statements to this, bad mods are going bad or mods are going bad, is a mod is only as good as its installer. You could get the best mod in the world. This is the best mod. You got the best price. It's the best quality. But the guy puts it in with the wrong components, has no idea what he's doing. It's going to be a bad representation on that mod. So how do we avoid a bad installer? That's the toughest part for people.
I think I might have said this once or twice before, but research.
Yeah, research.
It's that easy with
Word of mouth is pretty good.
Yep.
And seeing their work
Yes.
in other vehicles.
That would probably be the best, I think, is to see their work. Because sometimes word of mouth, it's the old, my brother's mum's best friends.
But you still want to see it. So
Yeah.
word of mouth, have a look. If you can get the word of mouth, there should be a way you can see it.
Yeah.
Or even just pop in and ask him. Ask the Auto Sparky, can I see the work you've done?
Yep.
And maybe ask him for the base price, what I get. Like, do I get heat shrink and soldered, stuff like that?
Yep.
That's what you need to ask. So electrics, I don't want to scare you here too much, but electrics cost a lot of money if you want it done properly.
It does a lot.
Oh, the major mistake that we see people do, and that a lot of people do, and what we've done before, is you take your vehicle to opposite lock, then ARB, then TJM, and then an independent store, and then you're getting this here, and that there, and then all of a sudden there's wiring going on top of wiring, and
Yep.
no one knows what this is and what that is, and yeah.
It's not bad workmanship. It's just...
It's not just that. It's someone else has done an average job.
Yep.
They're going to follow the average job as well.
That's right.
It's like playing a game of pool. If you play with someone who's really crap, you play crap as well, I find.
That's right.
It flows on.
Yep.
Be careful with engine tuning.
Yes. They're...
That should be a whole segment on its own. Engine tuning, be very careful,
Yep.
especially if it's flash tune. Look, it's any tune, not just flash tune. I'm not saying flash tune is bad. I'm not saying it's good either. It needs to be a whole topic for this, so I'm going to keep it very vague. Just make sure whoever tunes your vehicle tunes it on a dyno and then takes it for a test run and make sure that it actually does what you want the car to do. Every car's different. You can't just go in and go, all right, this file works for this car. Let's just dump that on and then off we go.
Yep.
Because your car reacts different to mine.
Yep.
Wayne's car reacts different to our cars. So
Yep.
every engine has its own fingerprint.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So keep that in mind.
Research.
Research, word of mouth, not necessarily.
That's right. If you don't know and you want to ask a question, send it in to us and we'll do our best to find out.
Yeah. YouTube questions, round two. I think I've written his last name wrong. I haven't printed the sheet out this time. I went old school and put some carbon to some paper.
Wow.
Yeah, my wrist is hurting. I like this next question. I like it.
Anthony Rains. American here. What is a swag?
Yeah, what is or are swags? What is are swags?
Are swags?
Okay. That is a brilliant question. Any Aussies who are laughing at this question, I'm not laughing at it. I'm amused because it's only here we have these bloody things. These monstrosity
Coffins.
canvas coffins.
Yeah, canvas coffin that sits
Yeah.
above ground.
If we were strapped for time here, that would be our answer. It's a canvas coffin that we sleep in.
Other than it's a canvas bag with a mattress in it.
I would say it's a ready to go.
Yeah.
That's why it packs up so big.
Yep.
You roll it out. The traditional swag, you roll it out, no pegs, no poles, you just get in it.
Yep. It's just a canvas sheet, really.
It's just a canvas sleeping bag.
Yeah.
But now they're dome swag, so technically they're halfway to a tent, but they're made
Yeah.
out of canvas. But it's different than a tent. A tent, you got to put your own mattress in it. You got to blow up a mattress, self-inflatable mattress. Swag, roll it out, everything's in there.
Yep. Just needs it. So most of them you don't even need a pillow.
Yeah, and you roll yours up with.
Sleeping bag, pillow, the whole lot.
So it's a ready-to-go thing. It's just made popular in Australia because of Burke and Wills. There's a bit of history there. We'll get to that at another time. So there you go. That's what a swag is. And this is swag too. No.
I was going to say, and the reason we have swags is because Ronnie doesn't get into the camp in daylight, so we are vampires. So we need to be in darkness in the daytime.
Aaron Precart, I think his name is. So Aaron says, "Hey Ronnie and team, winches. Thinking of getting one. Thinking of one from 4Drive Supercentre. What do you think? I go 4 driving on days off, but get bogged. Thanks, Aaron or Aaron. P.S. Right back FB message or Facebook message. Aaron, I don't do Facebook. Instead, we are recording you a message directly here on this video. We need to dissect your problem first. So you need a winch. Why do you need a winch? You're saying because you get bogged. Is there a reason why you're getting bogged? Maybe incorrect tire pressure. Maybe
Traction control.
Yep. Maybe traction control is in or out. It needs to be out. Disengage traction control. Are you using low range or high range in the correct manner? Have you locked the center diff if you have a constant four-wheel drive? If you have a constant four-wheel drive, that means that it is all-wheel drive until you lock the center diff. Check that out first. Let's go to the winch. So say you do need a winch. Do you get one for 4Drive Supercentre? If you're on a budget, why not?
I did for my first winch.
I got something even worse for my first winch.
Worse?
Yeah. It was from, I can't remember the brand name of it. It was like a no-name Chinese, I think it was like a MCC or something like that.
So just a knockoff.
It was just really, really cheap. And it lasted a while, but then it started getting, the solenoid started getting really bad.
Yeah.
It couldn't handle water ingest or mud. And, you know, I know that winches are meant to go underwater, most of them, but I've put all my other winches underwater. I've never serviced a winch in my entire life, and the other ones still worked for me. So look, a cheap winch, how do we break this down?
A lot of people would say don't go there. I'm a fence sitter. I bought mine from the Supercentre.
I think fence sitting is probably the way to be here because it has its place. A cheap winch has its place. A quality winch has its place as well. If you are going solo driving and you're relying on this thing as life and death, you're in the middle of the outback of the bush, then I would not go a 4Drive Supercentre winch. Or I'd have a spare one in the back.
Yeah. I suppose the other thing you could look at as well, are you looking at changing up your vehicles often? Like, are you going to upgrade soon? If you are, go for a good winch because then you can move it on.
You can move your winch on, that's true. And if you're holding onto your vehicle for a long time, maybe you just want to put a good winch in it.
Yeah.
If you're travelling in convoy, go for a cheap winch.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. Just go to what's on your budget. So if you're concerned about a 4Drive Supercentre winch, I wouldn't be that concerned. I'm pretty sure they have a pretty good return policy and a guarantee in their product. So if the product fails, you just take it back and they give you a new one.
Yep.
So go for it. I wouldn't stop you.
No.
leading on from that last question from YouTube, we kind of answered a bit of this topic coming up now. This is topic about recovery gear. We're just covering the three main things. The first one is winches, recovery tracks, and
snatch straps.
That's right, snatch straps. We will start with the winch because we just came off from the winch, and the main question we get is, should you go steel, cable, or should you go Dyneema rope? Now, back in the day, you couldn't get Dyneema rope, or you could, but it was hard to get your hands on, and it was bloody expensive.
Very expensive.
Extremely expensive. It still is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But it's worth getting Dyneema rope rather than this stuff. And I think nowadays they're actually bringing out winches that come with Dyneema rope. You don't even get the option. I think you have to start asking for steel cable now.
That's
with
right.
some of them.
Yeah.
So I guess let's do pros and cons on this. Let's just give this a positive note to start with.
Positive note. This has actually been sitting out in the weather for at least 2 years. I don't know about you, Ronnie, but
if you put Dyneema rope out in the weather for 2 years, it's just gonna be dead.
There's not a mark on it.
This is galvanized. You can drag this over rocks.
Yep.
Drag it through mud.
Water.
Drag it through salt water even.
Yep.
It will eventually corrode, but your car will probably corrode too by then.
Yeah, probably before it.
What else is good about it?
Make a great flying fox.
Yeah, it would do. You wouldn't wear your rope down.
Yeah.
I guess that's all the pros, because now we get to the cons. This is heavy.
Oh, it is heavy. This
is real heavy.
Oh, it's good. 8-10 kilos there.
Yeah, that in Dyneema rope is 3 kilos at most. Probably not even that.
Not even that. I'd probably say closer to 2.
Be bugger all. If this snaps, it will kill you.
Oh yeah, it'll wipe you out.
Whereas Dyneema rope, it'll just leave you a bit embarrassed and a bit like, ooh, imagine if that was cable. Some people argue that it won't even recoil Dyneema rope, but this stuff here, this will recoil and this will cut you in half if it hits you.
Before you even blink your eye.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be gone that quick.
Yep.
You'll be looking at your feet, thinking, how did I get here?
Yeah.
That's probably a bit too graphic. If I kink this,
throw it in the bin.
Throw it in the bin. It's pretty much done for. You've compromised it. It's no longer safe.
I just want to add one thing. If you do have this, or you do intend on buying steel because that's what you want, get some really good gloves.
Oh, hell yes.
Because it can be in perfect condition, but it could still have a little burr sticking off. You run your hand along that.
Yeah, you'll know about it.
Yeah, it'll open you up.
Yep.
So just wear some good riggers gloves if you're going to use it.
Yeah, good leather gloves.
Yep.
Not your nylon gloves. That goes straight through it.
Oh, yeah.
One other thing. If you snap this, you can't rejoin it.
No, you can't.
It's
You
done
can,
for.
but it ain't going to work.
Well, you're not going to be able to.
Oh, crimp plug.
Yeah, the dodgy way.
Yeah, it's not rated to anything.
But everything else with winches are pretty much covered.
Yep.
You should really service a winch once every year or two.
Yep.
But I've never winched. I've winched many times. I've never serviced my winch, ever. And I've gone through 3 winches so far. I'm on the 3rd now, and it's going pretty good.
That's not bad for something that hasn't been serviced.
Yeah, it's been through a lot too. Right, should we move on to, let's move on to snatch straps first, eh?
Yeah. So I just went through one of Ronnie's recovery boxes and I found this new Dyneema rope. I don't know what his intentions are for it. Maybe Sienna's going for a second tooth.
Yeah, it's not really going to pull a car, is it, that one?
No.
I can't remember why I got that. I was going to, limb risers.
Yeah.
You know, the things when you bull bar to the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to use Dyneema rope for it.
Ah.
Just to see how it goes, because I figured if I don't do it properly and it snaps off, it's not going to scratch the car.
That's the point.
Or whip back at me, but then that might fail pretty quick, and I decided it was a bad idea. So that's just been sitting there for a couple of years. We're now to snatch straps, people. I guess we point out the obvious stuff first.
Rated, certified, Australian.
snatch strap.
Yep.
And that it is, you know, this one here is an 8-tonner, so you can actually pull your vehicle with it.
Yep.
Damn, these guys do like a 25 ton. Maybe that's what we would know. You know what that means? That means the other one is not a 12 tonner we pulled with the other day. That's a 15 tonner.
No wonder it hurt.
Yeah, no wonder it never broke. 25 pulls, hard pulls. That's in a video with snap toe balls, by the way. Here's a little preview of it. So, the whole point of this conversation here, Torben, is people have asked us, can they buy cheap snatch straps? And the answer is?
Yes. Well and truly.
Because?
Because all snatch straps should be certified, tested, and have an Australian standard. So it doesn't matter if it's a $10 snatch strap or a $500 snatch strap.
Yep.
As long as it has this serial number, Australian standard, and certified,
Yep.
go for it.
So be careful if you buy them overseas because they may not have the same certification. Marley, calm down. Dogs.
Ah, she's just agreeing.
What else is there to talk about? I mean, snatch straps are pretty... Oh, actually, there's one other thing. I'm going to put you in a scenario, and I know what your answer is going to be. Already know what your answer is going to be. You are severely bogged,
Yep.
like really freaking bogged, and it's going to take some hard snatches with a snatch strap.
Ooh, yeah.
But you have an option to use your winch.
Oh, straight for the winch.
There you go.
Why put all that stress on the car?
So for those who don't know, winches are far more controlled. A snatch strap should only really be used if it's a quick, convenient way to pull yourself out of a sand or something. But if you can use a winch in a much more controlled manner,
Go for it.
use the bloody winch.
That's what you paid for it.
That's what you pay for it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Way more controlled. These shouldn't be used in the wrong hands. I honestly think people should have training with these, or at least watch some videos how to use them, which will be in the links below, before you use the snatch strap. This is a dangerous item, and as you will see in that other video that we did as well.
Well, people seem to think, being that it's fabric, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, this can actually kill you. This can, yeah, and yeah, give you some pretty good injuries. Now on to the final part of recovery gear, and this is what you could have as a replacement to a winch and a snatch strap.
Yep.
You can't snatch yourself. In most cases, you can winch yourself.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and in some cases, it's not really practical. These you can use at any time. You can use them in a convoy. In a convoy, hopefully more people have recovery tracks. It doesn't matter if they're max tracks or whatever they are. Any recovery tracks will do the job. I would stay clear of the eBay ones, the cheap ones. I would at least go treads or max tracks.
Yeah.
Our preference is max tracks because they don't snap. How many treads do you snap? You snap 4?
4 treads in the one day.
Yeah, within the 1 hour.
Yeah, within 1 hour.
And we had to use half boards to get up.
Well, we had 8.
Yeah, we have max tracks.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 snap on the beach, 2 black ones, and just from a Prado. There were treads as well. I haven't seen these snap yet, but they do melt the lugs when you spin your wheels on them. So, these are the old ones, these are the new ones.
My new ones.
My new ones. Hey, they feel cold. So these metal inserts, they're cast in metal, and the theory behind this is when you spin your wheel, you won't melt them. I think we both agree that recovery tracks in general,
Yep.
okay, well, leave the brands out, recovery tracks in general will get you out of more situations
That's
and
right.
by yourself
Yep.
over a snatch strap and a winch.
Yep.
So what would be your order of using things?
I would go straight to the tracks first, recovery boards. Then I would look at winching with the boards, because
That's
that
not a bad
makes it
idea.
even better again. And if you've got someone else there with you and it's a simple pull, snatch strap.
Snatch strap's
Last
like
resort.
a quick, convenient,
Yeah.
lightweight pull. And how many times we use recovery tracks with snatch straps as well? We've done quite a few.
Yeah, we have actually.
Because even the recovering vehicle, say you've got to recover off a beach, the
Yep.
recovering vehicle is usually going up, right?
Yep.
So the gravity is working against you,
Yeah.
and the vehicle is holding you as well. So if the guy at the back kind of stuffs up temporarily, but I don't know,
Then the recovery vehicle needs to be recovered too.
yeah, exactly. So we do generally put these in front of us as well. So we make sure that the recovery vehicle gets good traction and goes up.
Yep.
And it's not just recoveries. You can even preempt you're going to get stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
You can lay the boards down in holes. So these are far more versatile than
Yeah, we've done that before. We've stuck 2, 3 at a time and actually used it like a little bridge.
Yeah. It's a preventative and it's a recovery device. But if you've got a big hill and you needed them halfway, you've got to walk all the way down to get the bloody things.
Yep.
And what about when they fill up with mud?
They are heavy.
Well, yeah, they're heavy enough as they are.
Oh, that's right.
And they're even heavier. I reckon they weigh as much as, hang on, pick that up.
Oh, yeah, it's probably about 10 12 kilos.
They're heavier?
Maybe a kilo.
Oh, okay. I thought it
So
was
there's not
more
a
than that.
huge amount in it.
Rightio folks, we've reached the pointy end of the Torben 4x4.
Yeah, my glass is empty.
Yes, and you got to drive, so no more.
No more.
Right, how do we go this time?
I think we went well.
Cover some good topics?
Covered some really good topics.
What do you guys like to know about? Just give us topics this time. Look, you can throw your questions in there too, but we really want topics. We had to think a while to get some topics here.
Yeah.
Some good topics, debatable ones. They're the ones we like.
Yeah.
So do you want them back again or what?
How did I do the second time around? I want to say thank you for everybody that wanted me back. So
Yeah.
hopefully I did all right and maybe I'll be back again.
You all made me invite him. Too easy, mates. Well, I'm sure you'll be back on. I'm sure they'll request you back and hopefully we'll get some good topics. And don't forget about, do you really need that? Put some items down below. I'd like to see some serious ones and some...
Real funny ones.
Yeah, bring it on.
Test us.
All right, subscribe up here, Patreon over there, another Talking 4x4 somewhere here. See you guys later. Cheers.
See ya.
Alrighty.